Today, we're covering the situation where you're actually able to have an in-person meeting. And for the last couple of years, that's been kind of rare, but many districts are opening up enough to allow us as constituents to actually get in-person meetings with our legislators, at least at the district offices. So let's jump right in. In this situation, what we're talking about doing is taking a homeschool information packet and going and visiting, having a short meeting just to introduce yourselves and introduce the idea of homeschooling to your legislator or their staff member. Now, the idea is not to right out of the bag be having some sort of a big issue that you want them to fix, but rather introduce them to the idea of homeschooling and let them know, we like the homeschool law the way it is in California. We function very well, and we'd like to be left alone. So as you're preparing for your meeting, make sure that you consider having a homeschool information packet so that the legislator can actually have something in print that they can look at, some information that provides them the basics about homeschooling in California, gives them the law, how that works, as well as gives them an idea of how homeschoolers do academically and socially in the country, whether it's during their academic career or after academics, after graduation. How do homeschool students do? So that packet that we can provide to you through our Advocacy from Home program does provide them with that information. So in the district, legislators operate one or more districts' offices, and they may take meetings at one or more of those offices, but you want to find out who to meet with specifically. And in order to do that, you will call the office, contact the office, the district office, one of them at least, and find out who you should be meeting with in terms of having a sit-down meeting. And hopefully they will allow you to meet with somebody that works in the arena of education issues or education concerns. Now, in the district office, sometimes legislative staff have many roles, so you won't get somebody necessarily who that's their full-time job, but you'll get somebody who that fits into one of the categories that staff member is responsible for. So they have a wide range of things that they are responsible for, and this might just be one of those. So you'll want to talk to the person that deals with education issues, so try to get a meeting with somebody that will be able to address those issues with you. And do a little bit of homework on your legislator beforehand. Make sure that you understand a little bit about them. Look at their background and their biography on their website and see what they have done in their life before being a legislator, so that you can kind of get a feel for where their interests are. You can also get an idea for interests by looking at what committees they serve on in the legislature. So that can also give you some helpful information. So as you go to the meeting, you want to make sure that you're prepared to answer questions, as well as you're prepared physically. So you want to be dressed well. You want to be wearing professional clothing. You want to, if you have a suit, that would be an appropriate time to wear it. If you bring your children, make sure they're well dressed and cleaned up, and that they are also ready to answer questions. You don't want to have your child, when asked, do you like being homeschooled, to answer in a way that brings negative light to homeschooling. You want them to be prepared to how to answer that question, not just with a yes or no perhaps, but even with a little more detail. Why do you like homeschooling? And perhaps another common question is, what is your favorite subject in school? Have them ready to answer that with something other than, oh, I don't have a favorite subject, or I don't like school, or we don't do school. That's not the kind of answer that's going to be helpful. So help them prepare for some of those questions. And certainly, if you get questions in the meeting, you don't have to feel pressure to answer all of them right there, you can say, well, I'll get back to you on that and write down the question. Or you can also give them the phone number for my office that's in the homeschool information packet, and then they can follow up with me and ask those more complicated questions if that's something that they would like to do. So it sort of depends on your situation. If you're interested in following up further with them, or perhaps you have another issue you would like to address with them, it's appropriate to do that at a later time as opposed to bringing up additional issues in that meeting. You really want to stay focused on the one issue of homeschooling and deal with that. Deal with, thank you for doing the job you do, and we like homeschooling the way it is. Please just leave it alone. And that's okay. That's the appropriate thing to do in this introductory meeting. Additionally, if you want to come back later with another topic, it's great to have that first meeting under your belt already. Have some point of contact with the legislator's district office prior to having some sort of an issue. If you have a friendly, positive meeting first, then when you come back with some issue that may even be an area of conflict with this legislator, you want to have something friendly under your belt first, prior to that later contact when you're trying to perhaps change their mind on something. So be ready, be willing to defer questions or say that you'll get back to them, and don't get bogged down in issues that might bring about conflict. And be ready to leave when it's time to leave. Know when they're signaling, if they stand up in the meeting, it's time to go. Usually meetings from constituents in district offices or in capital offices are between 10 and 15 minutes. So don't overstay your welcome. If you want to be allowed back, make sure that you are friendly, that you're clean, that you are ready to exit when that is signaled, and be ready to just be a friendly face. And many legislators and their staff have never really knowingly met a real life homeschool family. So you can be the first, and you can be that first impression. And so you want it to be a good one. You want to make sure that they're comfortable around you and be friendly. So hopefully you can have a positive experience with your meeting. These can be positive experiences regardless of where a legislator or staff member is on the political spectrum. Friendliness and politeness go a long way to making those encounters positive. So I would encourage you to be bold and make that appointment, and just enjoy getting to know some people. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being active in advocacy from home.